Welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm Dee.
I'm E.
And today we're going to be talking to you guys about a very famous family. No, not the Kardashians. Thank God. Whew, praise
We
you.
got a break.
We did. So, another really famous family that also stays beefing within the last few years is the royal family. Royal family of England, y'all. So, okay. Now, it has been widely documented, super publicized, the fact that ever since Prince Harry and his wife, Meghan, decided to step away from their royal duties and from the royal family, really, it's all been an ish show. Like, everything has just been crazy. But there's rumors that King Charles possibly wants to reconcile with Harry. Let's get into it a little bit. Okay.
I hope so.
I can't deal with you.
Let's have a W this year. I think we need one.
Man, please. All right. So King Charles has a strategic need to chart a course of reconciliation with his estranged son, Prince Harry, in the medium to long term. And as part of his attempt to try and smooth that path, is not seeking an apology from him over accusations made by Harry in his book, films, and other interviews. Royal sources and friends of the king and Camilla have told the Daily Beast. The king hopes that an unconditional apology might be well received by the prince and that Harry may shelve his own demands for an apology to Meghan Markle, the friend said, allowing for a quote-unquote reset of relations. The friend of the king and Camilla told the Daily Beast that while Charles hopes to be able to build relations with Harry in due course, he would not be tempted to start dishing out apologies. They said it has been reported that Charles wants an apology from Harry, but that's far from the case. Charles wouldn't expect that. He knows the Windsors are a stubborn lot, and Harry is no exception. So, the quid pro quo is, can Harry accept that he won't be getting an apology either? Don't forget that Charles authorized Jonathan Dimbleby to write a book which attacked his parents, but ultimately they all basically forgot about it, chalked it down to experience, and moved on. Charles wants to hit the reset button, but not at any price. In interviews to promote his book Spare, Harry said he wanted accountability from the royals, understandably. In an interview with The Telegraph, Harry explicitly sought an apology by saying, "The way I see it is I'm willing to forgive you," meaning the royal family, "for everything you've done, and I wish you'd actually sat down with me properly. And instead of saying I'm delusional and paranoid, actually sit down and have a proper conversation about this, because that's what I'd really like, is some accountability and an apology to my wife."
See, that's where he killed it.
Girl.
I'm like, how about we get through one step and then the other one? But let's continue. The continued alienation of Harry and Meghan reflects poorly on Charles as a leader. It will only become an even more pronounced problem if his grandchildren, who are a prince and princess, grow up in California without any apparent contact with Harry's family. And while royal sources like to give the impression that Charles has no need to hurry, the simple fact is that Charles is already 74 years old. At age 73, he was the oldest person yet to ascend to the British throne. I'm British.
Oh yeah, totally.
Given that both his parents lived well into their 90s, he is generally expected to do the same. William has remained petty, furious with his brother, outraged by what he sees as his betrayal from him and his family and their privacy for financial gain. He has no wish to see him, the Daily Beast understands from sources. Charles, however, does. What do we think?
So I think that yes, they should reconcile. And yeah, there should be an apology on both sides. Because I've said this in other episodes before. Nobody's blameless here, you know? But I think that on the part of King Charles and the royal family, they have a little bit more to apologize for, because of, you know, the fact that, like, this all could have been squashed. This all could have been handled a long time ago. had they just communicated as a family, not as the firm, not as a company, not as the royal family, just as a regular family. This is a man, King Charles, who literally had been waiting his entire life to take over the company business, right? And he really can't see how, this has overall affected his family. The fact that everybody's just was on hold. Everybody was just waiting, right? It's a sad thing to say, we're waiting for the queen to pass in order for Charles to become king. Now that he's king, he's got a lot of stuff he needs to handle, and he's not going to be able to fill his mother's shoes. Let's be real here. But something that was always very important to Elizabeth was the family unit. And so I think that Charles not having that relationship with Prince Harry, it really makes it seem like it's a fractured family, I know that right now there's been a hard push of, the new Fab Four, meaning Charles and Camilla, and then Prince William and Princess Kate. And they're doing tons of engagements, meaning William and Kate and everything. But everybody knows you have two sons. Everybody knows that Harry exists. And therefore, by extension, Harry and Meghan exist, just this past week, within the last couple of days, it was World Mental Health Day. Both families went out and did different sort of events and commitments and stuff for that, because both have talked about wanting to, really work in that space. And it's just so much easier if they were to be a unit. And then I can see also from the standpoint of the monarchy, them wanting the monarchy to survive, it would be best to have Harry and Meghan back in the fold. As much as people may hate them, there are still plenty of people that love them. They attract a lot of attention, a lot. And the monarchy needs that, because right now, I never hear really any of the engagements that King Charles does. I really never hear anything about his wife, which I'm glad, because I don't care for her. But I rarely hear about, William and Kate either. It's on and off I hear some things. So yeah, I think they should just go ahead and reconcile. Yeah. Finito.
Yeah. Okay.
Get over it.
Yeah, they should have never let this go down the way it did.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Queen Elizabeth was already, too old to probably even deal with those kind of conversations.
Yeah.
But Prince Charles, should have slapped them both. Be like, hey, cut it out.
Yeah.
And as much as I hate to say it, I agree with you.
Wow.
Shut up. Harry and Meghan, they brought up attention. People seem to have been excited for the Fab Four. Despite of the British media, now that I'm learning that they are the worst.
Girl.
That's another subject for another day, for another month, for another year. But yeah, they're relatively young. They can carry on the legacies. They seem like a philanthropic pair. The pairs are philanthropic, so I think they could have done a lot of great things. But also as a family unit, I think it just kills me that it could kill Princess Diana if she were to see her sons like this. She probably would have slapped them both. Be like, hey, she would have fixed the problem right then and there. She probably would have spoken up for Meghan if she did go through all these things that Meghan said. She probably would have been like, hey, Kate, time to step it up. I don't know. Maybe Kate could have been more of a sister to Meghan, and kind of like that buffer. I don't know. Now that gets a little more racial, but it's if she's encountering all these problems, you as a Caucasian or as a woman of more privilege than her could have helped her, establish herself or teach her the ropes. Meghan also could have been a little more receptive, a lot more informed. She can't blame, she didn't know, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you knew that this was a realm, the firm, the establishment, the ultimate colonizers. Girl, You knew what they were about. Like you can't, claim naivete at this point. Like, girl, you should have been. Yeah. So I think everybody should just apologize. We don't know what the hypotheticals could be. We
Yeah.
can only just move forward. Um, I mean, who wants to see them fracture like that? I'm kind of tired of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. I don't know. I feel like lately the media has been so, what's the word?
Incessant.
Not incessant, but like, give me an adjective for like
Too much.
divisive, like very
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
more so in recent times. So I don't know. I think we need a lot more togetherness. Let's spread some love. Let's have some unity. Kim and Courtney, fix y'all relationship. Harry and and Will,
Oh my god.
I'm like, fix your relationship. I just want everybody to be happy. And, it's sad to see, like, these cousins, they'll miss out on some of those traditions. I mean, I love all
Yeah.
that tradition stuff. So
Yeah.
just, growing up, with those good aspects of the
Yeah.
family and the monarchy, like they're missing out on all of that. Yeah, America's cool, but who's part of a monarchy besides the monarchs? You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's true. And honestly, like, they would benefit from some, like, real introspection, some real therapy. I know
Mhm.
Harry has talked about going to therapy. But I don't know, maybe it's not working that well. Because uh personal information here. I go to therapy, and one of the things I had to learn in therapy is that you have no control over the relationship that your loved ones have with other loved ones. You can only control the relationship that you have with them. And sometimes, in order to move forward, you have to forgive them without ever receiving an apology. Basically, doing it for yourself.
Mhm.
And that's something that I don't think Harry seems willing to do yet. I think maybe he still feels a lot of resentment, and that's what's kind of helping him to hold on to that desire for an apology. Should they all apologize? Yeah, of course. But being a mature adult, being, having to deal with, your mental health, and just, in therapy and everything, growth is understanding and accepting that you can't always get your way, and
Mhm.
that, even if they're your family, even if they're your parent, you have to be willing to move forward and just forgive. And then that does not mean that you need to accept any bad behavior. That does not mean that you need to accept any disrespect or anything like that. But, clear boundaries should exist. And so I'm assuming that because it's the royal family, there was some difficulty in really establishing, some of those boundaries and some of those things. But ultimately, it doesn't benefit anybody to still be so, estranged. Um and in the long term, I think it would be beneficial for both of their brands, because that's what, really is, it's all about the brand. It'd
Yeah.
be beneficial for both of them to just, like, reconcile in whichever way they can. Like, just
Mhm.
move forward.
What happened to agree to disagree?
Yeah.
And
that-
again, setting those boundaries, like you say. But
yeah.
of course, I'm gonna go on my little petty wagon. I was doing good, so I can't. I feel like Prince Harry harbors these feelings is because of Meghan.
Oh my God.
I
There you
just
go.
there's something about her. Like I think she is just not good for him.
But that's
Like,
the thing, though. Like, it is thanks to her that he was able to get out of a toxic relationship. And by relationship, I mean his family. That man was
thanks to
not.
her, he could have he was always like going to somewhere in Africa to do his work by himself. I don't think he needed Megan to detach from his family.
Yeah, he did, because despite him going to Africa, going to whatever part of the world, he was still coming back to them. He was
Hmm.
still heavily involved with whatever they had going on. He was still literally like, the third wheel to Prince Harry and Kate. So he was still there. He was still having to deal and contend with the issues. He couldn't have a private life. He couldn't date anybody really, because within months the relationship would be over thanks to the British tabloids, the media. So the whole problem is that, and I think he talked about this in the documentary, is that his family didn't defend him. His family didn't stand, even before Meghan. His family did not stand up for him, did not help him. He literally has been in court, I want to say this past summer, over wiretapping, that his family told him, oh, don't worry about it, it's been taken care of. Nothing was taken care of, while his brother received a settlement. He got nothing. He didn't even know really what ended up happening with it, because he wasn't allowed to deal with it himself. He's finding these things out now. And it is thanks to the fact that he's gone, the fact that he's gotten away from the toxic relationship, and that he's with Meghan, that he's been able to find the sort of freedom that he had been looking for. So I think it's messed up to, place the blame on her when, she probably really helped him to take the steps he needed to take. Because I think Meghan didn't want to leave the royal family. That was never part of the plan. They just wanted to take a step back. They wanted to be part-time royals, like other members of the royal family are part-time royals. That was shut down. That was not allowed. And then more and more things kept happening and building up, and that's what led to Harry making the decision to leave, because Meghan was fully committed to staying in England, to being the Duchess, to following the rules, I guess, to an extent, of the British royal family. But then it became so detrimental to her, and Harry didn't want history repeating itself. That's trauma, him remembering and comparing and thinking about what happened with his mother. That is trauma that he carries with him forever. And it's what led to him just making that decision to walk away. So as much as I know you don't like Meghan, and I know Meghan can be very annoying to people, she saved this man. And he will say
That's too much credit. I don't think she saved him. Well, we can agree to disagree.
Yes, we can.
All right, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. Should they finally reconcile, or should just Harry forget about his family altogether? He got a new family now. He living in Cali. He could run for president here if he wanted to. I'm just kidding. He can't. But let us know what you think in the comments. Yeah. What would Princess Diana have done if she were alive? Would Queen Elizabeth fix something if she was younger, or in better health?
No.
Tell us your thoughts.
No, because she didn't know anything about Charles and Diana. But that's another story for another day.
True that. All right, guys, let us know what you think. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our videos. We're trying to grow our community so your friends could be our friends. We can all be friends. We also have social media, which Dee will tell you about.
We're on TikTok and Instagram at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys follow, share, comment, join our community.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.